Hello, I am Ben Nimchek, otherwise known as the Big Ben 1 on YouTube. For this review, I'm going to talk about an event that happened in my life, in my preteens, when I was 11 years old. I'm going to follow Doug Walker's example. He made a couple of videos how media changed my life. This review is about that. How a kid show that's aimed for little girls on television saved my life in 2001. Around the birth of the millennium. With that said, I also wish to warn you. Some of the images you're going to see will be disturbing, but they're going to help make the story. So, if you're disturbed by some of these footages, be aware. And also, bring out a box of tissues right next to you. Because there is going to be a point where I might bawl out into tears, because this is such a tragic event that happened. And very hard to think back at it too. So just be aware of that. With that said, here it is. This is my story. It's coming. The change in the weather is coming. Which means to me, if certain weather is coming back, my memories and my past is coming back as well. In September 2001, I entered my first year in middle school. We were a little different back then because we didn't know how it was. Like most kids back then, we had no idea the changes that was going to come upon it. No recess, no games to play, just more learning and more learning than ever. At first it started off as a nice, easy thing. My first year in middle school was simply easy and harmful. No, not harmful, harmless. Well, maybe harmful if you count bullying, but I wasn't bullied that much. Anyway, the point is, everything was going perfectly smoothly. That all changed the following week, though. 1 week later, after school started, something terrible happened. On Tuesday, the following week, I was doing something in the classroom with some special needs kids because I honestly have to admit I was one of them. Autism. Well, while we were doing something in that class, the television turned on, and what we saw? The Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York, up in smoke. Yep, Tuesday, September 11, 2001, was the day that shook the world completely. I have to admit, as a young kid, I didn't even know what really happened. I thought it was like a ruptured gas leak or electrical short circuit that caused some explosions. It took me a month to realize what really happened. Terrorism and terrorists were new words to me. And as an 11-year-old boy back then, I didn't even know what was happening. The world was changing, and we were all shocked. The class of 2008 were horrified at what we saw, especially during our first week of middle school. 1 week after school just got started. Unexpected, tragic, and horrific. But of course, they always say every cloud has a silver lining. And for Cartoon Network, there is a silver lining to that.
That's where Craig McCracken and Lauren Faust comes in. These two got married while working on the show, and without whom we would never have what we've seen today. The Powerpuff Girls became a brand new hit show for Cartoon Network, along with Dexter's Laboratory, Ed, Edd and Eddy, and Johnny Bravo. All four main shows that got their start on Cartoon Network. There are some others that follow along with it, but I don't want to mention them here. The Powerpuff Girls, the original, not the reboot, is pretty much a staple to my childhood. I know the characters well by heart. Blossom, Buttercup, and of course, Bubbles. Bubbles is my favorite Powerpuff Girl.
Hi, I'm Bubbles.
I knew this toy would come in handy.
With the sweet, innocent little voice that you just want to pinch her cheeks. She's just so cute. I pinch those little cheeks of hers. Oh, how cute, how adorable. That, and of course, she's played by Tara Strong, my favorite voice actress of them all. Hands down, top 10, easily. She, Catherine Cavadini, and E.G. Daily, all of them have one thing in common. They play such iconic characters that became staples to everyone's childhoods. Cavadini, as you know, was also the voice of Tanya Moskowitz in American Tail 5 Goes West. And E.G. Daily was the voice of Tommy on the Rugrats. Strong was also on Rugrats too, as Dill Pickles, though we won't see him till the movie comes out. Now, the Powerpuff Girls. Out of all the shows that brought me happiness at the time, both this show and Ed, Edd and Eddy are pretty much staples that keep me hold on forever. Because when the new millennium started, we just got Cartoon Network on basic cable. And finally, I can watch so many different shows I have not yet seen yet on the network. I finally got to watch them when I turned 10. I saw Ed, Edd and Eddy, I saw I Am Weasel, I saw the Flintstones and Yogi Bear and the Pink Panther, Looney Tunes, and so on. Ho 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 ho. I cannot tell you how much joy they bring me over the years now that I'm 31.
It's no surprise that some scenes of movies that contain the World Trade Center were either removed or just removed from airing the whole thing. The last scene from Trading Places that has the World Trade Center in it, I'm okay with. Jungle to Jungle, little bit. But there is one scene from Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, that they just cut out. When Kevin McAllister saw the World Trade Center, that's one thing. They let that in. But the Freeform channel removed the scene where Kevin McAllister was on top of the towers. Naturally, watching this now, I can guess what the viewers were thinking when they watched that scene again.
Holy f***.
Yep, that's the first thing that comes to their minds. Very, very disturbing indeed.
There's a lot of episodes of the show I do remember the most. Some I'm sure you remember too. I do remember the episode where Blossom got that hideous haircut thanks to her sisters. Or the episode where the girls made a new Powerpuff Girl named Bunny, with a very much unfortunate ending.
By the way, just so you know, Meet the Beatles is the best Powerpuff Girl episode ever. I don't care what your favorite episode is, that is my most personal favorite. Alright, going on.
Or Buttercup's crush on that gang leader, whose name I pretty much forget now. Oh yes, I remember something else. The city of Clipsville. That one scene that had the Powerpuff Girls as teenagers. Oh God, I wish we had that whole episode. I really want to see the whole episode. centered around those teenage Powerpuffs. But we didn't. We never gonna get to have them either. And there's another favorite episode I like, Getting Twiggy with It, featuring this giant hamster.
Cool, that Twiggy is a biggie.
Oh, by the way, if you can't figure out what the hamster's name is in this episode, I'll give you one guess.
Twiggy, Twiggy,
Twiggy.
Twiggy,
Twiggy. 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 Twiggy.
Twiggy,
Twiggy. Twiggy.
Twiggy, Twiggy.
Leafy, barky, no, branchy.
Twiggy.
Do I get credit for being close?
Oh, thanks for helping me, girls.
Helping you? We're helping Twiggy.
No, 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 no.
The movie was, well, it's got a lot of great action scenes in it. It's dark, but I love it. Yeah, kudos to the movie. I wish Craig would do more movies like that.
And as a guilty pleasure, I hate to admit it, I actually love the band episode, See Me, Feel Me, Know Me. It's a musical, band, of course, but I kind of like it. Ooh. Gotta watch my step out here.
Oh, before I forget, I should probably talk about E.G. Daily for a minute. Why do I want to talk about her? Because of this.
Well, here's this. She was born on September 11, 1961. But then, September 11 would happen 40 years later on her 40th birthday. So, E.G., you have my pity. I feel very sorry for you. That must be the housing style for Granville, Michigan. If it's gray, the whole town is gray. That's why every single house back there is gray. Dark gray on top, light gray on the bottom. Why not? So it was a horrible event that happened in New York. But it wasn't just New York that got hit. Other places in the country got hit too. Around Washington, D.C., the Pentagon was pretty much struck. And the White House in Washington, D.C., an airplane nearly missed it. United 93 crashed outside the White House. The passengers stopped the hijackers from crashing to their destination. But of course there was a price to be paid. The price was, it cost them their lives. They were all heroic to their unfortunate end. And as for my mother, oh, God bless my mother's soul. She was hoping to pick me up from middle school because of this horrible event. I don't actually blame her because she's a concerned mother. And concerned mothers are always worried about their children. But eventually, she did not pick me up from East Grand Rapids Middle School. She just waited till I got home. She was that horrified that it might happen at my school too. In fact, everybody went home that day because of the event. The Twin Towers were gone, half the Pentagon was gone, the White House almost could have been gone. The plane crash outside the White House was terrible. My mother lost a favorite news anchor in that crash, I heard. So yeah, everybody had to evacuate from everything so fast. They fear what happened in New York and the Pentagon could happen to them too. I don't blame them for doing that. That's actually a smart move. Evacuating for their safety. Yeah, that's smart. Very smart.
Not a bad idea.
It didn't last long though when I was in East Grand Rapids. When I graduated from the middle school in 2004, I got transferred. Transferred to Middleville, Donopo Kellogg High School, which is also in Michigan. So I spent the rest of my high school years in that school. And I haven't seen my East Grand Rapids friends for a long time. Let's see, the last time I saw them was in November 2018. During Thanksgiving weekend, they had a bit of a class reunion open house. I wasn't invited personally, so I invited myself. And oh my God, I'm so glad I did. My old friends recognized me, and I recognize some of them. It's been so many years since I haven't seen any of them. Oh man, I even brought one of my old yearbooks with me from 2004. They even signed it, half of them. What's even more amazing about it is that it happened just 2 months later after the high school class reunion of Minneville. While Minneville had theirs in the Yankee Springs Golf Course, which is in Minneville, Michigan, East Grand Rapids had theirs at the, I think it's called the Pennock Place in Grand Rapids. It's right by Easttown, I know that. Either way, I felt happy to see them. My friends were the ones that comforted me. They cheered me up during these hard times. And when September 11 happened, who was there? My friends. They may not be as great and heroic as the Powerpuff Girls, but friends help. Friends help in ways that you can never imagine. Family, too. In fact, my friends are kind of like family in a way.
So it wasn't Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone that pretty much saved my friends from what might have been. It didn't save me, though. It was the Powerpuff Girls. 3 bug-eyed, bobble-headed brats that saved me. Saved my life completely.
I'm sure you all know what their personalities are by now. Blossom is the egghead. Blossom is a cutie little one who loves animals and is vegan, just like Tara Strong. And Buttercup, she is the tomboy of the group, the roughest, aggressive, no take no for an answer. She's that kind of girl. And what do you expect with the voice actress of Tommy Pickles from Rugrats? But even though the villains on the show are likable too, I do enjoy Mojo Jojo, him, Princess Morbucks, and Fuzzy Lumpkins. They're likable characters. What can I say?
But those girls did more than just that. They saved the whole city from everything that happened. They saved their city from Mojo Jojo, a little mad gnome, the devilish him, an angry bumpkin who lives in the forest, a gangrene gang, the Black Lives Matter demonstrators, an army of broccoli, a dirty little kitty.
Even the Powerpuff Girls has to fight the evil side of Bubbles.
Bubbles?
Bubbles? Bubbles? Bubbles?
Bubbles?
Bubbles!
Fucking bubbles!
Bubbles.
3 opposite lookalikes. They even found the way to stop a woolly mammoth from destroying the town. Yeah, a woolly mammoth, unfrozen from the Ice Age. Who would have thought? Too bad we don't have superheroes like they did. Otherwise they would have stopped those hijacked planes from crashing. The next thing I saw on the TV were the towers coming down. One went down first. The other one came down a little longer later. And believe me, N.J. Burkett almost lost his life if he didn't see the tower coming down. Just watch.
This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the 2 towers. A huge explosion now raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way!
They run and ran and run. They ran for their dear lives, not knowing what's going to happen next, not knowing when there's danger more approaching. They don't want to get covered in soot or ashes or get clobbered by the rubble. So they fled for somewhere safe and secure, and so on. Run. That was one brave news anchor. He went all the way to the parking garage, thinking he might be safe there from the upcoming soot and ashes. Oh man, I sure hate to be in NJ's shoes right now.
You guys got any masks?
I really hate to say this right now. I mean, really, really hate to say this. But what Mr. Enter said about the whole event not long ago, well, he's kinda half right. Yeah, I'm not lying when I say he's half right about what he said. The 2000 decade was a 9/11 decade, and some people are going to have that kind of memory stuck in their minds for the rest of their lives. For the rest of the decade, no doubt. But only if you live in New York, and if you lost your family members to that horrible event. As for the rest of us, like me, I've gotten over it over time. I think it was 2002 that I moved on with my life. So did everybody else. We got over it, so were they. And so would Mr. Enter, too. And you pretty much gotten over it, too. Here's the main reason why they saved me. You see, for many of us, the only thing we had to turn to was television, our own escapism. And when I got home that day, I turned on the television set and started watching some stuff. Over time, though, a month and a half, maybe to the next year, I watched, and I watched. There's certain superhero girls that got me feeling more better than ever. And soon my life was back to normal. And not forever depressed, or gloomy, or downright miserable.
But of course we all know the truth. The answer is love. Love makes the world go round. I guess all I can say right now, as part of this review goes, everything you heard was all a true story. That's what happened to me in 2001. An 11-year-old boy going on 12. It wasn't Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone that pulled us out of depression. That did help with everybody else. Me? Oh no. It was 3 superhero girls that saved me. So all I can say, right now, I want to say, thank you. Thank you, Craig McCracken. Thank you, Lauren Faust. Thank you, E.G. Daly, Doris Strong. Thank you, Catherine Gabbardini, Tom Kenny, Roger Jackson, Jim Cummings, Kendi Tartakovsky, Charlie Bean, Don Schenk, and everybody else. You saved me. You all saved me. Your show, The Powerpuff Girls, saved me from what could have been a post-9/11 stress disorder. I would have carried on for the rest of my life. I thank you. I thank you for saving me. Your show and your network and everybody at Cartoon Network, I thank you. I thank you so much for saving me. I'm sorry, but this is just so much. What I've been through back then and everybody else was just the saddest moment of our lives. And this is just too much to bear. I'm sorry, I'm thinking I'm going to end right there because thinking back what happened is just too much for me to bear. It's just the worst experience I ever had in my life. Especially for the first year of middle school. A man with autism turning 12.
In In conclusion, for no less than 21 years now, we all continue our lives the way it was. Calm, normal, and peaceful, pretending nothing bad ever happened. In 2010, America rejoiced for the death of Osama bin Laden, an Arab terrorist who they believe may be the cause of the September 11 attacks. Him and Saddam Hussein, who was hanged in 2003, they said they were responsible. And now they claim it's over. But the big question is it really over? Or is this just the beginning? This is Big Ben Nemchik. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. And let's never forget.